Hey, Bob. Bob's in the house early.
Bob's in here
It's
early.
time for the Skeptical Help Bar, and it's Friday night.
What?
What? Look at this. Look at everybody here. Oh my
Hi.
God. It's Slumber Party Part 2. Is that how you say it?
Part
Dude. Is that French?
Yes.
Yes.
Part Dude.
I feel like
So we're
Dude.
international, basically. That's what that means.
D-E-U-X.
Something like that.
Can everyone hear us? I want to make sure everyone can hear us because I set this there. Everything looks like it's working good, but I want to make sure people can hear us. So give us a shout in the chat room. Bob and Robert.
Robert.
I
We
see
got two
Robert.
Bobs.
We got a few people watching. That's good.
I think we need to record how close you are to a cat.
It's
literally being recorded.
Look, it's right there.
It's recorded.
It's stalking me. It's stalking me. Thanks, Bob. It's gonna pounce. I'm so worried about
sleep.
I'm worried. Okay. Anyway, so before we get going, we're gonna actually block out Donna here because I'm gonna put the rules up on here as soon as I find them because we have to go through the rules because it is Friday night. Here we go. So rule number 1, you are welcome to ask questions, especially tonight. It's an open mic night traveling edition because we're on the road. We are in Massachusetts tonight, even, and tomorrow too. We're in Massachusetts. We're visiting with our friends, Melanie and Anthony Trecek-King.
Yeah.
I got it right this time. I've been practicing. I was like, I got it right. But we are visiting, so we are on the road. This is definitely on the road traveling edition of open mic night. So you are welcome to ask questions tonight. Rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. Do you know everything?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a woman.
I expected
We know
that.
it all.
So I don't know everything, but apparently this side of the couch does. That side, both sides. Feel the heat. So yeah, if we don't know the answer to the question, we will look it up. I do have Google up on the laptop that you can see in the screen here, so we'll look it up if we have to. I'm not there yet, but rule number 3 is that we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here, and that means basically you can be in the chat room, you can discuss things, you can debate, you can disagree, whatever, that's fine, but just don't devolve into calling people names or getting nasty. Basically, don't be a dick. That's what I'm saying. Don't be a dick. Just be nice. Be nice. That's it. Rule number 4 is that if you have a question, especially tonight, if you have a question, please put a Q in front of it so that Donna, who is off to the side here, as soon as I put the rules away, she can put it into a special folder and we can save it and we can get to every question. And then rule number 5 is my favorite rule, and that means drink up.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink.
Cheers.
Not a drink. Clink. Clink. Clink.
Donna air clink.
Donna air clink. Clink. There we go.
It's over there.
All right. So now that that's done, let's go back to our regular thing. Oh, there. Donna's missing. She disappeared. Look at that shit. All right. Daniel's in the house. Shauna is in the house. Redman. Robert. Oh, Caustic Hymn Productions. That's a new one. I don't think we've seen you before. Daniel Klaus is here. Oh, look at that. He's the owner of the Hinsdale house that we visited.
Hi.
Yeah. Nice guy. I saw him last weekend too. Hung out a little bit. So, all right. So tonight, definitely it's up to you guys. This show will keep going tonight as long as you guys ask questions or put topics out there. I'm going to do this now as I talk about it. I'm going to put the link to join the show in the chat room. Hopefully it works this time because I think last time we did this, it wasn't working. People couldn't click on the link and come in. But if you want to ask a question in person-ish, like virtually, come on. Or if your question maybe needs a little bit more clarification or you need to explain a little bit more, then feel free to click on the link, come in here for a couple minutes and talk about it, and we'll try to answer your question. So all of us are here. We can answer your questions. We'll each give our perspectives. But again, it doesn't keep going. The show won't keep going unless you ask questions. So if you don't have any questions, we will stop the show early and get to drinking, which is a little bit more than normally. But in preparation, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, we can talk about a few things. First, how are you?
I'm great.
How are you? You just got back from Singapore.
I did, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singapore.
What were you doing out there?
I was adjudicating the Singapore International Choral Festival. I was one of 8 judges.
Oh.
It's basically like American Idol for choirs, sort of.
Ah.
It's a competition, so
Okay.
choirs from all over. It was Singapore, the Philippines, Indonesia, and there's one other, Malaysia. were there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
cool.
Taiwan, there was a choir from Taiwan.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jade Kitten's here too. Squatch Talk.
It's her
Ooh.
birthday, so don't make it.
It's your
she
birthday.
said.
Happy birthday.
Jade Kitten,
That's
happy
so
birthday.
awesome.
Thanks for sharing
Very
with us.
cool. Yeah. Happy birthday. We should have a cake.
Oh, I love cake.
We should get
I
cake
have a slice
later,
of cake.
and we'll just offer it up to you.
Yeah.
But we'll enjoy
I
it.
will eat it in your honor.
I will eat a lot of it too.
Mm.
Wait, it's my cake.
It's your cake.
We're sharing the cake.
You have a cake?
Yeah.
Where's the cake at?
It's over there?
Oh.
Isn't it pie?
Well, it's kind of like a pie cake. Do you have anything? that
What the
would
hell's a
work?
pie
No.
cake? That's not. That's
We
that's
could use it
an
as a
abomination.
birthday cake. It's like I would
Ooh,
use it as a
so it's a
birthday
pie.
cake.
Is it apple pie?
No,
Oh, what
it's
kind of pie?
Hershey's chocolate pie.
Oh, so it's a
Remember?
pie. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
cake. Yeah.
Yeah, but we could use it as a birthday
Okay.
cake. Do we have anything else?
All right. I don't. You're right.
I-
I don't know.
The purpose of cake is to be a vehicle for frosting.
I agree.
All right.
Although, you're right. Yeah,
I love frosting.
I think
So,
frosting's a big
on
part
that
of the
tangent-
cake.
On that, yeah, that little. Ooh, let's see, a cake with a flaky, delicious crust. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yum.
Yeah, I
A
like that.
turducken.
Oh, I've had a turducken.
A turducken, we've had it.
I
Yeah,
know.
we
Is
went
it
there.
As good as it sounds.
It was actually pretty good
Thanks, Joe.
because the whole thing was deboned, so
Yeah.
we didn't have to worry about that, and it was just like you cut in,
it
and you
was
got a
just
big
like
hunk
you
of meat.
Sliced it.
You got a big hunk of meat, and just dug in, and it was actually.
So
pretty
actually, I'm thinking of Howard's mom's turbrisket fill.
Oh, that's just.
Oh. That's when you add fish to anything, it just
Yeah.
makes it nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good with that.
Fish and brisket.
Ew, that's
what else
just
is that?
that's
Wait, brisket
gross.
fill.
Turkey
Oh,
stuffed with
turkey?
a brisket.
stuff
stuffed
with
with
a gefilte
turbri-
fish.
It
Yeah.
could-
Yes.
Oh.
Ew.
Oh.
Anyway,
Diana's in the house.
so I did have we went to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash last weekend.
Yes, we did.
We did. We had a good time out there. It was nice seeing everyone. It's always for a good cause. It went to I forget the charities. I know one of them is the Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors,
Children
but the
and big
second I think
kids with cancer.
Kids with Cancer. I wasn't sure what the second one was, but
and
I
then
know
they
they did
also did the Dana's Wishes.
Dana's Wishes. Yeah, our friend Dana from the Paranormal Peaches. She does a big charity with kids and getting like Christmas presents and stuff like
Donations
that.
for
Yeah,
birthdays
for
and
kids.
Yeah,
Really
for-
good job. And they raised
for
a lot.
for kids that their parents or like specifically like moms going through cancer treatments,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, really good job. I know overall they raised $20,000 for charity.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
for
We hit
a weekend
awesome.
at work. That
Yeah,
was really
for
good.
3 days. Yeah.
And really nice. I had a good time. I talked to a few people. And I'm not going to go into details here, but there were a few people that when they arrived, they didn't like me. And we actually had a conversation and we talked out some of the issues. And now we are friends.
Kenny made friends.
Yeah, I know. So that's always a happy ending. That we can, sorry. Just we were pre-gaming, so I'm feeling pretty good already. But no, it was nice. It was nice. I like showing up to things like that where it could be potentially like hostile or just bad feelings, but then have it turn around and it's a positive, So I like that. I like that. I think that was a progress.
Yeah.
But then I also partied a lot, which was fun. I got to tell you, Ghost Hunters versus Skeptics, Ghost Hunters party so much better. They just know how to party. They know how.
I think that's a challenge.
You know what?
You know
If
what?
it is, I'm
Put
issuing
it out there.
Put it out there.
There you go.
Skeptics need to party a little bit better.
You know, actually, I would say
Listen,
orchestral
I'd rather-
musicians do a damn good job of partying.
Yeah.
Like,
Or at least college orchestral musicians. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well, college.
shocking.
You add in
Yeah,
college there,
Yeah.
and you automatically like up your game
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
If by college you mean like graduate students.
Yeah.
and,
I mean, like college
semi-professionals.
drinking people.
He
Yeah.
means like the young college.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that aren't passing their classes.
So yeah, Robert.
There's a difference
wait,
between
wait,
that's
partying
right, that's
people.
right.
wait,
But I
so
do
we
think
don't
I think
need-
skeptics could learn how to, I don't know, party better. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there has been good parties. I've been to a couple good parties. Well, SciCon, the Halloween party that they have is really good. You know, even when
Yes.
you don't win the costume contest, do better.
Our judges need to understand that we were in theme.
I mean, we could ask the audience here.
Yeah. We have pictures.
All right, moving on. We have questions. We have a few questions. Please put your questions in
Yeah.
the
Save me
chat.
from this conversation.
Let me
There we
see.
go.
I'm
There's
also.
a question.
Why are dicks always theorized to be bad? That's actually
That's a good question.
good question. I don't.
I suppose could there be a good reason that you're being a dick?
I don't know how that got to be.
Like, why are you such
Like an
Yeah,
insult.
like right. It's an insult.
You know, like if you
Unless you're
think
talking
about it,
dicks sporting
the
goods.
more offensive, I guess, terms for both body parts, male and female, have been used as
Negatively.
like negatively. Like why?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, are we actually like, are we saying that what we call it is bad, or are we saying what it actually is bad? Like, so is it calling someone a dick that's bad, or is it somebody behaving like a dick? Are we asking why they're bad?
So now we have to get into what is
We can define
behaving.
This is true.
Like define behaving like a dick. Like what does that mean?
This is going to be a long show.
This is put your kids to bed. I don't see
Yes.
what
Shauna.
I don't know. I guess
The
it's just
connotation of the word.
the connotation of the word
Connotation of
dick.
the word.
Okay. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like it puts it out there and it says like,
I
hey,
feel like that's a Google question.
let's look it up. Let's see what we got here. I have
I
to
don't
figure
know if
out
you want to put that in your Google.
why.
But didn't we talk about
Well, right
this?
now it's not
Didn't we
sharing the
talk about
screen. Why
That's
is
so funny.
calling someone? Wow, it comes up like the autofill is like a dog, a fool, a turkey.
this?
Nimrod.
Nimrod. Why did
Nimrod's such a great word.
I love that word.
Yeah. Our cat was almost named Nimrod.
Really?
Yeah.
Poor Dimitri.
Because Nimrod the mighty hunter.
Look at him sleeping back there.
And now he's just Dmitry Shostakovich.
Let's see. So this says, much like ass, the word for a below the belt body part is very commonly used as an insult, meaning pretty much jerk or idiot. Only males have dicks, and this insult is usually used towards a guy who is acting like a dick.
That doesn't
Lots of
explain
people
it.
find this word offensive, especially parents, teachers, and other adults. I mean, obviously we don't, because it's been said a lot on this show.
I wonder what the origin is, though.
First, I don't. That's let's see, a slang term for. Oh, well, that's a slang term for detective.
Anybody else
Private
found
dick.
it yet?
I didn't look it up.
I don't know. That's interesting. So I don't know the answer to your question. I think it's just maybe it's because it's like it always had this idea of like your dirty parts. Maybe it was just dirty, and that way people just morphed it into an insult. I don't know. I have no idea. That's interesting, Daniel. Thanks for kicking off our show with that interesting question. Now everyone's looking it up.
Oh, wow.
Origin of this insult. find
Etymology online says fellow ladder man, 1550s,
Yes.
rhyming nickname for Rick, short for Richard, one of the most commonest English names, has long been a synonym for fellow. And so most of the slang senses are probably very old, but naturally hard to find in the surviving records. The meaning penis is attested from 1891 in Farmer's Slang Dictionary. Meaning detective is recorded from 1908, perhaps as a shortened version of detective. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
think we've been calling people dicks for longer than we associated that with a penis. Is that what we got from that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, who knew?
I
that?
learned
Wow.
something new today.
I love this show. We get to learn this kind of stuff. This is awesome.
That was never something I was going to look up on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't think this is how the show was going to start.
Yeah, apparently dickhead, the noun, means stupid, contemptible person, was originated in 1969 from dick
Oh,
in the penis sense plus head.
thank you
Dickhead.
for spelling that out.
Thank you.
But not
I'm
until
just
the
reading.
60s.
Not to the 60s.
Wow.
Okay.
So it was all the people that were smoking.
It's all the people that were high. that came up with this. That's interesting. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. All right. On to, do we have another question?
Sure we do.
Awesome.
Anthony.
Actually,
This is for
Anthony.
Anthony.
You ever
Come
hang
into
out
frame, Anthony. This is for
on
you.
Kuta
Uh,
Beach?
yeah, Robert. Unfortunately, no.
In Bali.
I've not been to Bali yet. We've not done
Oh.
Indonesia. Though I was working it. I was talking to many of the choirs from Indonesia, saying I've never been there.
Oh, so you
How about
might.
invite me out?
Okay.
So maybe
Yeah.
in the near future.
Oddly
I
enough,
hope
there's some great choral singing in Indonesia, and what is not that this is a choral music show, but in Indonesia they do a really good job of putting together movement and singing. So
Oh.
they sing and they
Okay.
choreograph things, and some of the most like the Indonesian children's chorus is mind blowing. You watch them go, and it's precision, and it's all the
Wow.
stuff that's happening, and the singing
And it's
is
in a
great.
costume, so
And
it's
it's all
amazing.
in the costumes. It's pretty amazing. So no, I have not been to Bali. We've not been to Bali. But when I go, I will look to go to Kuta Beach in Bali.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You need to slide down.
Yeah, I think you
No,
need
no,
to.
Just
I
so
like
far
the
out.
I
when we're
think
there.
You
need
like
to
to be
come
out of
in.
screen?
Okay.
Anthony quiz
There we go.
Here's another
Weird.
question for you.
Okay. Did a sling in Singapore.
What's a sling?
I don't know what a sling
Like an arm
is.
sling?
Yeah. What
Really?
what's
Yeah,
a
what does
sling?
that mean?
Yeah, Daniel, have to kind of go a little deeper.
Go
Okay.
deeper.
I will look this up. Sling in Singapore.
Deeper. Sling. Could you,
Says
you
will
have
love
a
it,
sling.
Anthony.
Hmm.
Um,
a
Oh, the Singapore sling.
sling.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I didn't, because I was working. I didn't drink it all.
Oh.
Yeah, but Singapore sling. No, I hear good things about it.
Hmm.
Grand Marinier, cherry liqueur, herbal liqueur, pineapple lime bitters, club soda. That looks good
Wow.
with gin.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks
I'm
good.
not a gin drinker though. I don't like gin.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not really either. She likes gin.
I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't,
You're so weird.
but now I do. And
Okay.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
weird. We have to talk about. So she was nice enough to make pasta for us tonight,
Yes.
and then you
Wow.
put in.
This is coming out.
You put in. What
It
were
was
they?
it was pesto and
Pesto and sun-dried
sun-dried
tomatoes. That was cool. And then you added
Toasted almonds.
toasted almonds.
And it was supposed to be with feta too, but I didn't have feta.
And has anyone heard of that before? Because I've never heard of anyone putting toasted
But I think more
almonds.
importantly, if you
in it.
haven't heard of that, doesn't it sound good?
it
'Cause
was
is.
really good.
Let us know in the chat. Do you like this?
And there
Is this
is
a
a
good
right
idea?
answer.
There is a right answer,
Yeah.
but it's not what you expect.
See?
Toasted almonds and
Thank
pasta
you,
sounds
Bob.
amazing. Damn it, Bob.
It was very good.
Thank you.
Sounds so good. It was. It was
Just
tasty.
try it. It was
Yeah.
The
delicious.
pasta was great. I just didn't do it. I didn't do the toasted almonds.
Thank you,
'Cause I was
Gina.
like,
No, Kenny just
I was
added,
weird.
Um,
I get
a
weirded
little
out
bit
by
of
like
cheese.
new things like that, and I'm like,
It was already enough.
it's
for
messing up
Kenny
my whole
with the-
worldview, man.
It was already enough with the pesto and the sun-dried tomatoes to top it off with almonds.
Yeah,
It would
It
have
added-
put it over the edge.
like pasta to me isn't crunchy, and that would add crunch, and that's just like that's not. My brain would be going, no, this is wrong. This is so wrong.
It
Just
would
get up, walk away, walk away slowly.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Amy.
So Bob says he's going to try that right now, or try that now.
Oh,
Not right now, but yeah.
And
Right
it
now.
really
So
is better
good.
with the feta too.
And if you
But-
have feta, Bob, yeah, use feta.
All right, we still need questions. We got a
Joe
few
Downey's
more,
in the
but we
house.
need. Hey, Joe.
He
Joe,
gave
wait a
you
minute.
Green.
Oh,
Faces.
Joe, I'm sorry, Joe. I don't know you,
See?
but I don't think I like you now.
Wow. Wow. Coming out hard.
Joe, I've known Joe for so many years, and we go way back. and we
They
disagree
were
on some
sliced,
things.
Daniel. They were
Yeah,
sliced.
they were sliced. They were sliced, and I just no. I
It was
can't do it. I
good.
can't do it.
It was so good.
Everything
Next
else
time,
was
Kenny's going to
awesome.
try it.
Oh,
with
really?
almonds.
It was awesome. Yes, except for the nuts. I don't want nuts in my pasta. All right. We still need questions. Like I said, we still need topics. Again, if you have topics that you want to throw out there, maybe
Here's a
recent
question,
topics.
Kenny.
Seth Andrews said
Mhm.
he's interviewing a paranormal investigator soon. Might that be you, Sir Kenny? Ooh, caustic hidden productions.
I mean, if I might,
You
I
might.
was on Seth Andrews' show recently, for the second time this year, actually. And if you want to know who it is, I would say watch that episode.
Oh wow! Look at that plug.
Oh.
That was
What?
smooth. Just gotta
How'd I
fit
do?
that in there.
That was
Watch
good.
that.
Yeah.
Same bat time,
Yeah.
same bat channel. Next week. I can't say it was me.
But I'm right here.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Where do you think it came from? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's because he actually asked me that recently, because he follows me on, I think it was Twitter, and he saw the 2-part episode that we put together of us
Yes.
staying in the haunted house. And so he asked me about staying in a haunted house, and I told him about my experience. And by the way, that 2-part series is not only amazing, the
blooper reel at the end of part 2. It was a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's really worth it, actually.
and this
So-
is the video editor right here,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm very
They
grateful.
did watch the show, Melanie,
So it was
and
Seth.
they enjoyed
Oh,
it.
thank
Awesome.
you.
Cool. That's good. So I just put the link in the chat room, and that is to part 1 of Melanie's video on her YouTube channel. And you can see us interviewing. She interviews me on the couch in the exact position where the exorcism was performed in the house, which I might write something up or do a video, because I have someone out there sent me the transcript of the exorcism,
Oh, interesting.
and I didn't know that existed. But so far it checks out, and it's not what you think.
Okay, I have to know now.
So it's,
You know
it's
that.
very interesting. It is. So I can tell you a little bit, and this is just based on the paperwork that I have, and that it was more or less run by a psychic. And
Not
there was
a priest?
There was a priest there, but the psychic, it's from what I read, and I read through the whole thing, it sounds like the psychic was more in charge of it, and the priest was there as like a secondary kind of thing. And it was all filmed because there was a film crew there too. And it was just like start and stop, or do this, do that. Did you get that shot? And I was like, this is just weird. This is not something that I would expect. I expected like a priest to come in and just did a blessing, because first of all, you don't exorcise a house. When they do exorcisms, it's on people. But
Is that by Catholic?
that's by their
Doctrine or-
definition. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how they see it. You don't exercise people, or you don't exercise buildings. You exercise people. People are possessed, not houses.
So the priest was not acting within the Catholic.
So I think the priest was actually just doing a house blessing, which priests
Oh.
do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an exorcism, but I think the psychic promoted it as more of a exorcism, because I think
They
he
were
liked
there at the same
idea.
time.
They were there at the same time. They were both there, and the transcripts has it where they're both talking. Priest does a prayer. I think it's a minor. It's either a minor exorcism prayer or it's a house blessing. I'm not sure which. I haven't looked into it that much. But reading the whole thing, it just kind of sounded like, this is kind of silly. This sounds like they're filming a TV show, not doing something serious. And it was rather, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I was kind of disappointed when I read it. I was like, this is weird.
So we also heard the account that the house screamed. Was that in there?
That, I didn't read that in there.
The house.
Remember that, right?
Yeah, apparently, I didn't read that in the transcript. And the transcript was done allegedly by students that were in there, I think, from the priest's class, because he was teaching a class on the paranormal.
So they were taking notes.
So they were taking notes and I think they filmed everything, and I think they transcribed from the film what everyone was saying.
Oh.
So I don't remember reading anything about a bang, or a house screaming or shuddering or anything like that. So I'll have to read it again, but
I think that
didn't-
would have stood out.
I think that would have, yeah, that's something I would have said, oh, highlight this. Because I highlight certain things, names, dates come up, I highlight it.
The house
in
screaming.
the page. Yeah, this is where the house screams. So that when I do reference it, I'd go through and be like, oh, this is right here. But no, the house, I don't remember reading it.
Oh, interesting. Maybe we do need then a part 3 follow-up.
I'm game.
Okay. Where maybe we talk about the energy of the house.
Ooh,
Energy.
drink. Clink.
There you go.
Clink.
Clink.
All right.
I think, I'm sorry. Is it true that I now am in first place of your number of guests, the number of times a guest has been on your show?
I think so. I think you have the record right now. So you're in first place.
So Brian Dunning.
Oh, damn. You calling Brian out. Hear that, Dunning? Challenge.
Coming for you.
He's been on. I know he's been on 3 times. Yeah, and this is your 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that Costa. Another team up video in the house would be sweet.
Totally. Do we need to go back to this?
You want to go back?
Well, yeah, but
let's
also
do
there's
this.
so many
houses.
other
There are other
haunted
places
houses.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't think
Awesome.
Brian's in the house tonight.
I don't think
yet.
he's here yet.
Yeah, he
No.
might be.
I don't think he is.
Well,
We're
when
gonna have to make
when
sure he
shows
sees
up.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's
we'll
gonna
just text
call
him.
him.
Like you're getting called out,
somebody's
dude.
gonna be like, dude.
You might want to, tune in for a couple minutes because you're totally getting called out here. All
Come
right.
Bob has a question.
Bob's got a question. Good. I was just asked. Wait, you're
Oh.
supposed to read them.
Oh, I was just asked if I was a super taster. After looking it up, I'm going to assume I am. Are any of you super tasters?
To Google. Let's see what that means. I don't know what that
What's
I'm
means.
gonna
Super
say since
taster.
I don't know what that is, I'm not.
What is is
I-
this going to
a
lead me to
super
like
taster.
bad sites?
Yeah, exactly.
What is a super taster? So, super tasting science. Find out if you're a super taster. Super taster is a person whose sense of taste is of far greater intensity than the average person,
No, Kenny
having
is
an
the super
elevated
taster.
taste response. How do you?
When it comes to hot stuff, Kenny's a super taster.
You know what? Oh, that is not wrong. Earlier today, he had a bite of something that I cooked that might be spicier than ketchup, and he like broke out in a sweat.
He's ignoring you.
Yeah, I
I
see
know.
that.
I'm looking it up because they got pictures of tongues here.
Also, I just realized
Oh,
if I
he's
would,
looking at
I,
tongues.
I have this overwhelming urge to ask Kenny a question live on the air just to watch his face when he Googles the answer and like sees. I lead him to a site that he,
Oh,
see. It's like when I look for the sporting goods store.
yes.
Let's see. Taste, smell, and flavor are distinctly different from each other. Our sense of taste is built into our genes and can be observed in newborn children within 6 months of birth, whereas recognizing smells is a learned experience.
What?
There are 5. This is from the nutrition source.
Recognizing.
There are 5
That's
well-known
taste.
or well-recognized
Bitter.
tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter.
Taste
And-
smell.
What is that word? Umami.
Umami.
Umami. A savory, meaty taste.
Unagi.
Umami.
Unagi.
Unagi.
The ability to sense each of these tastes is believed to have evolved to improve the chances of survival for our earliest ancestors. The sweet taste of fruit indicates a source of sugars for energy, used in the right context.
Oh, but
Umami.
it doesn't matter, does it?
Yes, it does.
Umami.
It's just the word. Does it?
No,
it's
no.
not- if you use
You
the
have
word
to use the
correctly,
word
you're
in the
good.
wrong context that makes you drink.
Wait, any
So
word
when
in the wrong
ghosts-
context?
When ghost hunters say something like, "Oh, I
MSG
feel the
illustrates
energy of the ghost,"
Umami.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
And then
You
you
have to drink.
drink.
But you just use it to say what they say. Is that wrong?
we're going to count it.
Yeah. Anthony has his ruling on this.
There you go.
So, all right. So, am I a super taster? I don't know if I would be.
No,
I mean,
probably
I'm-
not. Kenny
I don't
won't
like
taste
spicy
food.
stuff. I don't eat a lot of stuff, so I don't think I would
No.
I wouldn't be able to sit there and just say, "Oh yeah," and describe a flavor, because my description would be like, "Oh, that fucking sucks," or "Oh, that's good. No, give me more." Like that's I'm pretty simple. That's where I am on that.
Okay.
And you really
There you
can't handle spicy.
No, I can't.
Well,
No,
at
I can't.
least you know. At least you know.
Can I tell you about the time I had curry? Ooh, the first time I had curry and I didn't know.
Ooh.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You broke out like you
Yeah.
were sweating, and you
He
didn't
wanted
know
to
why.
kill me. I swear he did. All right. How we doing? We got more questions? Awesome.
Who's the doctor who studied super tasters?
Yeah, good question.
See, again, I feel like they're gonna lead you something.
Guy Crosby? Is that it? This is Guy Crosby, PhD.
That's the
I'm just going with it. I don't know. What is this
Daniel.
Daniel?
You know the answer?
Daniel? What is this? Who studied? Let's see. Who studied super taster? This is going to be bad. Oh, wait. There's a lot of tongues.
Ooh.
Linda Bartoshuk.
Yeah, that's what I see.
The terms super taster and non-taster are attributed to Linda, her last name, now a professor at the University of Florida and a pioneer in studying the genetic differences of taste. Nice.
Nailed it.
So,
The term
Yeah.
originated with an experimental psychologist, Linda Bartoshuk.
That's what.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Barsh.
Look at that.
So-
You get everyone's got a laptop. We're all looking up your questions. I
but
love
look
it.
Look at
I feel like
Daniel
this is a test, right? Like I have this urge to win this game.
Bite me, Daniel.
He just said it again.
Oh my goodness. The Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I'm taking your display out of C of I. Gone.
No, he's not.
Doctor Who. Whatever. Doctor Who sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I don't want to get hate mail. I'm going to get hate mail now. All right. So, moving on. Do we have any
Sure,
more
here's a
questions?
question.
Oh, good.
I have asked Kenny this question before, so I'm going to ask Melanie and Anthony. Who would be your dream investigative team? And can be for any reason, not just paranormal.
Ooh.
So, like, whatever team you have put together, who would be
All right,
your
this-
best
But I
This
don't
team?
investigate.
This will be terrible for me to say, or you think it's planted, but I'd put Kenny and Melanie on my team.
Oh,
It's pretty awesome to have.
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
For very.
The check is in the mail.
No, not paid for at all. But no, just hanging around them. Yeah, definitely. I'd put the two of them on because they represent curiosity and skepticism, and they're both humble most of the time.
Most of the time.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
not always, not always.
Sometimes I'm humble.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look who showed up.
No.
Oh, look at that. We were just talking about you.
all
Is
good
this show any
things,
good, or
Brian.
should I watch? I don't know.
Should you watch? We were just talking about you.
Brian, you got called out.
Melanie
You
called you
weren't
out.
here.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Melody's talking shit behind your back.
No, like right in front of your face.
Right in front of your face.
It wasn't behind your back.
Oh, yeah.
She put it right out there.
Yeah, I mean, I won, right?
So we were-
Brian, do you remember how many times you were on Kenny's show, The Skeptical Health Bar?
I can tell
You're
you.
still
I
there.
think, let me see here.
We're trying to figure out who was on the most times.
Yeah. What,
We're
4?
just trying
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Yeah, I think because you were on like 3 times and this is her 4th time. So she's like, I'm in the lead. Anyway. All right. So
She's number 1. We do need to get a spreadsheet going.
Yeah.
yeah, we do.
Not just a
We need to
spreadsheet, a
start
chart.
counting our
With
like
Yeah.
episodes too. Be like, oh, episode.
I do.
452.
Actually, no, it does. It
Do
comes
it?
up. See, like up in the corner. It says episode 128. Yeah.
Oh, 128.
It's 128 episodes of this.
I guess we never
was
say it.
twice.
Twice. So
Okay,
Twice.
Brian.
Twice. Are you sure? I think it's
we
3
have to go
times.
back. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, because you were on twice for one before your UFO movie came out.
Oh, we just did
When it was
Mhm.
when you announced it and you were going to do it, and then when it was right before or right as it was released. But then I'm pretty sure you were on a
We
time
had 'em
before
all
that.
before that.
Yeah, earlier than that. You came on and talked about like Skeptoid and all that, and I got the
The
your
first
ending thing
movie.
wrong.
Didn't we talk about the first one? That he
Oh
did?
yeah, we talked about like Here Be Dragons and science friction. That's it. Yeah,
Yes,
because we had you on
yes,
for science friction. Yeah.
Oh, by
He
the
was
way,
probably
I
too
just have
drunk
to
to
say,
remember.
and I'm not
So
kissing
Kenny
up to
too,
Brian because
Kenny too.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I think the first time you were doing a lot of shots. We were doing shots. That was a fun show. We did
Are
a
you
lot of
sure?
shots. Yeah, I
You
think
used
that's
to
one
do
of
a
the
live show with Brian.
that's one of the times I was trying to figure out how to end the show
I think
while
it
it was still live.
and we
Yeah.
were trying to figure
And I
out.
was like, "Where's the button? I don't know. It's the
I
big
don't know.
red one. It
Yes,
says
it's
end
end
broadcast."
Right, he couldn't find
I
it.
couldn't find it. It
I
was
think
just
I
on
ended
screen.
up hitting it.
I haven't seen that episode. I feel like I need to.
We'll
Yeah,
have to go back.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
good. It was good.
And by the way, I'm not just saying this because I won. I'm sorry. I'm in the lead and twice apparently. Doubled your score. Anyway, but my niece was recently visiting and I showed her the Principles of Curiosity.
Okay.
Brian's Principles of Curiosity, and she was enthralled. She was
Yeah, she loved it.
it was the one about the walking stones.
The
stones that claim
the
to-
sliding stones.
Yeah,
To go
yeah.
across. That
Yeah,
was
she
a
had
great
to know what
story.
happened.
I love
It was
that.
wonderful.
It was a
So-
good. It was a good. I liked it because it's a good introduction into critical thinking and skeptics and investigating simple mysteries. So that's what got me. I love the stones. I love the story about the stones, and you see like the what is it, like the sliding trail
Yeah,
that
and
go on forever, and it's awesome.
but even the first principle of the first thing that you need to do is, and I forget because they're all 3 C's, and so I'm sorry, I forget what it's called, but where you first have to ask yourself, is this actually something that we need to question?
No, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's so brilliant.
because we
Oh.
automatically just skip to explaining it without
Yeah.
going, wait, is there actually something to explain?
Yeah,
here?
Yeah.
That's the one that got me too. I was like, holy crap, that's brilliant.
And that's what I mean. That's something that I learned about, and something that I talk about when I go out to like lectures or events. It's like all these ghost hunters, because I usually engage with ghost hunters more than any other group. But it's like you're going out there, you are ghost hunting. You're not investigating. You're ghost hunting based on stories that you've heard before, and you're not even sure if their stories are true. So, like the story of a woman that hanged herself at this building, did that really happen?
Ah.
Or are you just wasting your time? Are you looking for a ghost of a person that shouldn't be a ghost of a person because that event never happened?
Yep.
And I actually did find out that was one of the cases that I worked on. So the known story was that a woman hung herself from the second floor of these officers' quarters in a fort. And when I went back and researched the whole thing, one, she didn't hang herself, and two, there was no second floor of that building
Oh, wow.
at the
Okay.
time, so it didn't happen. It never happened. Yet, so many groups have gone out there and did their ghost hunts, looking for evidence and allegedly getting evidence of a ghost that hung herself.
But
Oh, wow.
the evidence should have been there was no second floor.
That's
Yes.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's like with the Pizzagate.
Yes.
There's not a basement.
There's not a basement. There's no basement in that thing. All this stuff is supposed to have in the basement. There is no basement. So your story falls. Your house of cards just fell down. It's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a really good principle to go by. You know, is there an actual story to investigate? And that's one of the first things. And I don't even think about it. Like that's an automatic first step to me. Did this event actually happen? Historical event. And half the time I would say, no, it didn't.
Yep.
And just good research, a few minutes, usually uncovers that right away. So good job, Brian.
Okay, we never finished the question.
Oh, we did.
Oh, I
we
did.
did.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
know, yeah, Anthony did. It's
Anthony
Melanie's
did.
turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, because I don't do investigations, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how to answer that question.
I guess, yeah, because if you don't know what the
You know what? Kenny Biddle.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Like, oh.
But my first guess is Donna.
Oh.
why?
Because you're
I'll be your little director behind the scenes, your producer.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
That's good.
That's
Fine.
yeah. That's always a good. It's a good question though.
Mhm.
Like I'm always thinking. I mean, it's easy for me, like because there's no stipulations on this whether they're alive or dead.
Ooh,
So like I always pull from history.
Houdini.
Yeah, Houdini would be
Randy.
one of my Randy, Houdini, me, because I just have to be there because I'd be like, oh, I'm with all these guys. 2 of them are ghosts. This is awesome. And then who else? I would I don't know who else I would do. Oh, well, I mean, in modern day ones, like I would get Ben Rafford. I would get Brian Dunning. I would get you because you do. I love when you go off on something, when something sparks your brain and you just start thinking so fast and putting stuff out there. I would definitely do that. And who else? I'd get a younger Joe Nickel. Just so he can get around a little bit better. I love Joe.
He's not watching this though.
Yeah, he's not watching this. I'm pretty sure he's not watching this.
Thanks, Bob, for doing my homework. He says Dunning's been on 3 times.
I still win.
And other people-
10, 115, and 120.
There you go. Yeah. And then other people. Who else?
There had
I'd
to
probably
be
get
another
like
one in
Susan
there.
Gerbic.
Oh,
Dunning had
along-
to be in there again, somewhere between 10 and 115. No?
No. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about because
She's
we're
still
doing
thinking
like a
about her
dream team kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I don't do investigations, right? So
Right.
like I'm putting together like a science educator.
All right, so who
So
would
there you go.
Communicator.
Science educator team
Yeah. Okay. So alive.
or dead.
Well,
Okay. So
It just might
alive.
smell a little
Alive. I'm gonna go with Bertha.
bit.
Oh,
Good.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
Bertha
good for
Vasquez.
education.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's wonderful. I love her.
Oh my god, I love her.
She's so nice and fun.
And she's so flipping good at what she does.
Yeah.
Dead. I'm gonna have to skip to dead then. I want Carl Sagan
Alive, dead,
Carl
or
Sagan.
fictional, Bob says.
Oh.
or fictional. You can always get Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I went Feynman.
dipping.
Feynman.
I see your comment.
Sure you can.
Double dipping.
Yeah, well, I'm so curious. What?
No, I'm just making sure that is it okay that I'm in on the comments?
Yeah, that's
section?
fine. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Yeah, and now you're up in the big. Yeah.
So Carl
Put you on
Sagan,
big
that
time.
would be great.
Yeah.
And then I
Feynman.
mean, if we're
I
gonna
went
do
Feynman.
that, I would also add your buddy Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Okay.
because I think his insight into some of the stuff would be beneficial.
Especially space.
Space Ghost.
That's right.
The final
Dawkins.
frontier.
Dawkins.
You have to have Dawkins.
Yeah. Feynman. You
Yeah,
said Feynman.
I said
yeah.
Feynman.
Okay. Yeah.
Daniel says Sherlock Holmes and Tony Stark.
Oh,
for-
we
for
crossed over to
fiction.
fictional.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
it is
okay.
yeah.
fictional.
Well, that's
I did say Sherlock Holmes.
definitely.
Batman.
But
Batman, Tony Stark, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes. I mean, that's always that's a weird one for me because it's I
because
struggle with the
Doyle
creator.
was-
Yes,
yes.
you have the most intelligent detective ever to grace literature was created by a guy who believed that paper
Fairies?
cutouts were fairies.
Yeah.
And it boggles my mind and how like he believed in psychics and spiritualism and just how
I mean,
someone
It was
But then-
Houdini who couldn't get through to him, right?
right. Yeah. I mean he tried, but and I think I get it because it's like Sherlock Holmes and like a lot of detectives like Monk and Scooby-Doo crew, nice.
This is great. I don't have to talk. I can just keep adding comments.
A lot of these characters are created, but the only reason that they're great is because the creators are writing the episodes, so they know everything that's going to happen. They craft the mystery for the character to solve. So no matter what, their character is going to solve the mystery, and you can make it as elaborate as you want, but it's still a fictional story. It's not a real
But it was
mystery.
the way that he supposedly used, well, that he used logic to solve problems.
Right.
Because it wasn't just how.
I think it's a working bakewards, though.
Sam and
Like,
Dean.
we have a murder. We have the mystery, like the murder from the Hounds of Bakersville. I think it was Hounds of. I'm getting it wrong.
Basker?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
try to say
Yeah.
that word. But you have a murder that sets it off. But with that, when you're creating this mystery, creating this story, you're working backwards. You know what happened. You know the result of it. You know, and you can build. You have that plot point, and now you build out from it, where you're going to build where it's going to go and how it gets there. So you create the entire story. It's not a mystery that's out there to actually solve. It's a mystery that you develop.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it was still the way that he solved mysteries through using logic. So it seems really clear that Doyle understood how to use logic to solve mysteries.
Right.
It's just that he couldn't apply it to areas of his life that were really important to him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, he saw it in his character, but he could not apply it to his own view of the world. He couldn't, his worldview. He could not apply critical thinking to his worldview, and thus believed fairies, had believed that spiritualism was real, believed that his own wife was talking to spirits, and believed that Houdini was a medium or a psychic because of the tricks that he did.
Even though he would say, I'm not.
Right. And I think the catch for Doyle, was that Houdini would not explain how he did the tricks because that was his own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, Doyle was like, well, you can't really explain it. Therefore, it's psychic powers, which is kind of sad.
I mean, I think it's a great example of how, no matter how intelligent we are or educated we are, we're still able to justify our own beliefs.
Right.
If it's really important to us.
Yeah. I mean, that really is a good example because, I mean, he was full into it. I mean, you had with the coddling fairies. I mean, the girls were there. He bought them a camera.
Right?
No.
It's these girls in England, early 20th century, right? Who.
So they borrowed their father's camera. It was a plate glass camera. Had a couple plates in it. It was actually like a spring-loaded one where there were plates in it, and you could take one out at a time. But they borrowed the camera. They went out into the woods, came back. They had these fairies in the pictures, and they did it several times, and it made the news. They became famous, and Doyle came out and investigated it. And I put that in quotes only because I don't know how he actually investigated any of these claims, except for talking to the girls. The girls told him a story. He believed it. And that was basically it. They sent the negatives off to Kodak. Kodak said they were not tampered with. And this is a common thing. This is actually a really good technique that people have used over the years when film and plate were used, because you could send the negative out and say, hey, check this out and make sure it wasn't modified or hoaxed or anything like that. And if you do everything in camera or on the scene and just photograph it, there's no hoaxing at all. There's no manipulation or tampering. It's not going to show up in the negative. To me, that usually, I don't see, except for the like old plate photography where you could manipulate it much easier than film. Like anytime a question of the film negative came up, I never like, all right, you sent it to Kodak, big deal. That really doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't see you messing with the film. I don't see you having the technical skill to do that on the film. But yeah, these things came out.
Yeah, Brian is trolling
cuttingly.
Kenny.
This is what happens when Kenny does not listen to Skeptoid episode on the cuttingly. So my version is just a brief summary. So I did listen to that episode, but yeah, I mean it's. I just don't get how someone could be fooled so easily. I mean, and maybe it's because of modern times. Like I'm used to photography. I'm used to seeing so many images. As soon as I remember the first time I saw them, I was like, these look like cutouts. Like the wings aren't moving, but they're supposed to be flying. Like the wings aren't moving. They're drawing.
Maybe because you were born in a different era and there's more technology now, where back then there wasn't.
It could be. It could be.
Maybe
Yeah.
There's like a whole technology issue with.
I think it comes back to like what you really want to believe. If you want to believe it, then you don't see that, right?
I don't want to not say I don't believe in fairies.
Because you don't want to fall down and be like,
my dream team would be the Charmed Girls. I think we could get through anything together, me and my girls.
There you go.
What's your superpower?
My superpower?
Yeah.
Pissing people off.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's mine.
That's yours. That's not mine. I don't know. I don't know if I have one.
Oh, but if we're gonna,
I guess
I want to
would
be
need
one of them. I want,
Huh?
yeah.
I think about
There's way more about the cultural context than let me see what that is.
Am I buzzed?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the way I always act.
Buzzed. Context and the actual photographs themselves.
Looked.
I mean,
I look
I
at
don't.
them, I'm sure I do.
I know where you're coming from. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because I think the photographs did cause a big stir, and people were enthralled by them. They were excited about them. So I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
I
curious.
just
I haven't seen with the cultural context. I want to know more.
yeah, Brian, you want to come on? You want to come on, Brian? Want to fight?
We have a few more questions, so we don't have to get stuck on fairies.
But I want to. If he comes on, we
To
can
be
at
fair,
least
I
talk.
did ask to explain that to Anthony.
Okay.
I am
Let's
because
see.
I knew
Let
he
me
hadn't been
put that
aware
in
of
there
it.
and see if he can do that, or I'll just send it to him on Facebook. I can do that too, if he wants to come on and talk a little bit more about it, because I'd be interested in hearing that. All right.
Ah.
For now, though, we can move on to the next question. I love how his Chinese characters showed up on his comment. That was weird.
He put that in there because he didn't know the episode number.
How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. Is it on my keyboard?
It's probably in the. If he's on his phone, it's probably.
Oh,
in
maybe,
the special
maybe.
Characters.
Okay, he's going to come on.
Does
Awesome.
mean the
Why were the Warrens
demonologist
always-
and the
Yeah. Presented to Metamina. Wait, why were the Warrens?
Why were the Warrens always presented by the media to be taken seriously?
I think personally, I think the media just it was a story. Anytime they came up, it was a good fluff piece to pop in and just say, "Hey, you know, like here's the Warrens. They're investigating this haunted house," and you see it every October. You see the various news stations pop in some kind of haunted house or something like that. And I think the Warrens. I've never met Ed Warren. I met Lorraine much later in life. So Ed was very forceful, very intense, I would say. And maybe I think he just called out like the newspapers and news stations and said, we got a story, we got to do that, and promoted the hell out of his stuff. So I don't know if the media actually took him seriously per se. I would wager to say that they took it as hey, it's a fluff piece to fill in a few minutes of airtime or space. You know, if they needed some copy to put it in the newspaper somewhere.
So you're saying that Ed Warren was contacting the media, and that's why he would be on?
He did that. I know he did. Once he went into a spot, like went to a house and thought he could sell a story, then from my understanding, he contacted an author would have a book written, have a book deal already going,
Oh,
contact universities so he could do talks and incorporate this new haunting place into his talks. I think that happened with who was it? There was the house in Connecticut, I think.
Okay, so I know him actually from this is not my area, right? When I in my class, when I teach about the Fox sisters and mediums, we also talk about the Amityville, and they were the two of them were interviewed by the local news station about like they claimed to do some sort of cleansing or something, and she went in and felt something, and he did too, and the news reported on it. So
right, they were there. They weren't. Ed and Lorraine were not there by themselves. They went as part of a group that included a news broadcaster that was there. He did a segment on it, and there were other people in there, including an assistant that Ed brought. Ed, Lorraine, his assistant. There were other newspaper people there. There were 2 people, I think, from a parapsychology Rhine Institute. I'm not sure. I think it was from them. I'm not sure exactly. So there were a lot of people there, and they all spent the night there. So the Warrens were not there by themselves. And that
the
was,
news team went with them.
yeah, they were
Okay.
there with them overnight. And it was after the Lutz's,
Lutz.
Lutz, Lutz.
I thought it was NTZ.
Lutz?
I don't know.
It was after they had already moved out.
Yeah.
So they had actually came back, opened the house up for them to come in. So it was already after they had come out. All right. So we got this Brian Dunning from skeptoid.com.
If I talk like that, I would talk all the time.
I know.
So
I got it
Rob
wrong.
says if Brian comes on, this will
He's
make
coming on.
4 and he'll be tied.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Bring it.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Okay.
Bringing him on. Hey, Brian.
Hey,
What's up, buddy?
sorry, it took me a few minutes. I was like on my phone downstairs and I had to come up here and find Chrome and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So now you're tied with Melanie. You're tied with a number of appearances.
I feel I would still be at a disadvantage in a tie like that.
Yes, you are.
So what's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much. I think I just messaged you yesterday or so that when you're going to be out here in Portland, I was going to come join your ghost hunt, but I've got to be in San Diego because we're driving my daughter and 1 or 2 of her horses down to grad school.
That's
And it's
bullshit.
like on the same weekend, so I'm not even going to be around.
That's total bullshit.
That's a total bummer.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
I'm bummed about it because we really did want to come out and see you. Like we were planning with Janine to actually drive over, but then
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how long it took until I finally looked it up myself because the times we were hearing were changing, and then I realized like that's like a day. That's an all day.
It's a haul, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not a quick run over there and back. But also if you come to Bend, Oregon, I mean, you got to spend at least a few days floating the river and going to breweries. You don't just roll over
yeah.
for a day and drive back.
But you know, I could come.
You can come too. Actually, our guest
I don't need
bedroom is the
Kenny.
nicest room in the house. So
You're out of the show now. All right, so tell us about the Cotting Lee.
yeah, so
Berry.
I was saying that regarding Arthur Conan Doyle being interested in it. I mean, it's a much larger story than he's some very rational Sherlock Holmes author who sees these photographs and thinks, "Oh my gosh, proof of fairies." It was, this was post World War I, and his wife had died, or his son had been killed in World War I.
Yeah, the
Excuse
son.
me.
Yeah.
And at that point, he got really into the whole life after death scene. and seances and trying to contact the dead and everything.
That
Which,
makes-
very understandable and not at all weird, because his son had died. And
Right.
what's worse for any human than to outlive one of your children, right?
Yeah.
So, kind of peripheral to that, he just kind of expanded into this whole world of theosophy, this kind of weird quasi blend of religion and spiritualism that was popular in the early 20th century and in the UK and in the US. And so he was very much involved in this. He was a member of the Society for Psychical Research, and this was a major force in his life. And so it wasn't necessarily a case of these photos being so impressive. It's that here was someone who had collected some evidence of something that the people in the SPR, the Society for Psychical Research, and the Theosophists had been trying to find evidence of and had been trying to prove for some time, which was, fairies, which somehow fit into their philosophy. I'm not exactly sure right now, but that's basically it. I mean, it was much more than just some impressive photographs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I've read about how he came out, he met the girls. I think, didn't he buy them a camera or supplied them with a drone?
At some point, and they had the camera. It was weird. I didn't prepare for this talk, by the way, so I don't have notes
I didn't
in front of me.
prepare for this story either. So,
but it was something like after the original photographs became famous, he got them another camera and some film and said, "Here, take some more pictures." And it was weird because it took a really long time, like a year or something, before they got any pictures, and the pictures weren't very convincing. It was kind of an odd story. I would need to. I hate to say more about it without being up on my notes, because it's been a few years since I've read it.
The final picture that they submitted or handed over where the hairpin was visible.
Oh yeah.
They could see that, and that was helping. That was standing up, the one paper cutout, and you could see the hairpin holding it to the ground. But yeah, I mean, I guess overall, just reading about the story, it's.
I will say my overall impression is that the kind of popular way that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is depicted in it as being very credulous, and that's a surprising thing, given that he was the Sherlock Holmes author.
Yeah,
I think it's very unfair to him, because he was in a really difficult psychological state, and all of this theosophy and everything had become a very important part of his life at a deep level. Just as all of us have things at whatever level are important in our lives, if there was something that came into that little world, we would give it an undue amount of attention, perhaps. And I think that's where he was. It's unfair to say he was credulous. I think it's more fair to say that he was psychologically invested in trying to find a way to reconnect with his son, and that this was some stepping stone along that journey.
I think my issue is that I can't connect those two. Like thinking about like losing a loved one and an afterlife and hoping that life goes on or something like that, and how it connects to fairies. I think that's where my issue lies. I can't. How do I rectify the idea that fairies exist?
Fair enough. I mean, when I did the episode on this, and like I say, it'd be great if I could go back and refresh myself.
Right.
I had to get all into theosophy and find out what that connection was.
Right.
But there was one, and it wasn't, obviously it's easy for us to dismiss theosophy in its entirety, but when it's an important part of your life because of a very real traumatic incident in your life, it takes on an undue amount of attention, of importance in your life. Right. And there was a connection in there. So
now I'm going to have to go back and listen.
Yes, he was wrong, and we can be skeptics and and say that and everything, but it was not psychologically erroneous for him to pursue that path.
Right.
I guess Brian, not that I know anything about this, but it sounds like there's a bit of just being human in it, where we're all fallible.
Very much so. You can't say that enough about so many of these stories. I mean, I've done, just shy of 900 episodes of Skeptoid now, and almost at the core of almost every one of them is a very profound human story.
Yeah.
Whether that's, the guy who made the Bigfoot suit for the famous Bigfoot video, walking across the meadow, or whether it's the guy who invented homeopathy or anything. There is actually, if you dig far enough, there's actually a very relatable human story behind all of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and
Although there's certainly a fair share of charlatans as well. Don't let me dismiss all of those guys also. I'm not rolling them. What does Dan say here? Could it be there's just one piece of the puzzle is that fairies exist and the possible? Yeah, yes, I very much so. I think we're saying exactly the same thing there.
Okay.
Finding confirmation of these beliefs was super important for where he was psychologically dealing with the death of his son.
Yeah. But I guess I don't want to like keep going back and forth. But from what I've read, like I don't think he actually investigated it. Like he didn't really investigate anything. He basically took the pictures, promoted them. And again, I understand where you're coming from. I understand that the psychological impact of losing somebody, especially a child, and a state of mind. I wonder how close is this? Like how close, I guess, in months or years from losing his son to where this event happened, and like how long do we hold? I don't know how to say this. How long do we hold on to that grieving period as, and this is going to sound mean, but as an excuse for the acceptance of something like that?
Well, let me tell you this. My sister passed away, excuse me, in 2015. And that's, I guess, only 8 years ago now.
Okay.
And for both my parents, it could have still happened yesterday.
Wow.
That's something that I think for a parent losing a son or a child is something that until it's happened to you, I don't think you can adequately wrap your mind around.
Fair enough. Yeah.
How big of a part of your life it's going to be going forward.
Yeah, it's not something that I can, nor do I ever want to relate to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. Okay.
Don't wish that on anyone. So I definitely, pardon me, too much beer.
Maybe not enough. Not enough. Oh, look at that. Nice.
I definitely cut Arthur Conan Doyle a bit more slack than most people do, I think, on this subject. And part of it may have to do with my own experience with my sister passing away early and my parents seeing the effect that it had on them. I mean, when I'm reading his story, you got to read his accounts of the episode as well as just the skeptical accounts and the ones that have been written up in Skeptical Inquirer and everything. And I definitely found a lot of real estate on which I was able to connect with where he was coming from.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
Very cool.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you coming on and giving us that perspective, because that changes, that changes things. It makes me think about it a little bit more. So appreciate that.
It's the value of diversity, right?
Yes.
It's the diversity of perspectives. Brian has a connection, a direct connection.
Yeah.
To and can see what certainly others.
If there's one thing that this job teaches you, it's that. It's the diversity of perspectives that so many people come from to all of these stories. And it's the entire spectrum. It's people like Arthur Conan Doyle, who in my mind was completely honest in his beliefs and was in no way trying to fool anyone or cheat anyone out of money. It goes all the way to the opposite end of the spectrum where you got Uri Geller. Okay. And every kind of human being in between.
There we go.
Subject right
now. Before you go, what you think of that article?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was really, really, really shocked by that. I'm reading this going, this guy claims to be part of the magician community, and he thinks that magicians embrace Geller in any way. I mean, I'm not a magician, and I don't know many magicians, but I like to think as close to Randy as a small minority of people were in the whole skeptic world. Right. And Yeah, that was a weird article. I was reading it almost feeling that this guy had some financial stake in Geller's museum.
That's right. Yeah.
This is just the totals are not adding up here.
Yeah, not at all. That
I've
was
seen
The
that.
sad thing is, of all of the really harsh criticism that's been written about that article and published, none of that is going to survive. It's going to be the original article that survives.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's how everything works.
And what were we gonna say?
I've just been watching that author on Twitter get some pushback, and he really is digging in his heels with not thinking his article does any harm. Like one of I actually think, Brian, you were one of the people that responded to the. Am I wrong? Said something.
Yeah, no, he asked for what are some examples of Geller costing anyone money, and I fell down laughing and like, well, here's the top of the list. How long do you want to go on?
Wow.
Actually, I think the question was, did he cause anybody harm?
Yeah.
And for example, you stepped in with, here's all of the ways this guy's cost people money. Yeah.
Here's 3 that you mentioned in your own article, and then here's a number of cases where he boasted about defrauding all of these national intelligence agencies from various nations.
Yeah.
And I take it from there. I mean, all the grantors that whose money he sucked up at the Stanford Research Institute,
Finding oil.
He's
stuff like
dug his
that.
heels in. I don't know if it's just pride
People
or.
want to know what article you're talking about.
So there was an article that came out last week, was it?
David said
a week or two ago, New York Times.
New York Times, yeah. That just kind of glorified Uri Geller, saying that the magic community, after 50 years, has finally like forgiven and or accepted him.
Skeptic community.
Well, I think it was more. I think the skeptic community was like secondary to this. It was more,
he was talking about the magicians mostly, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is
And it was just
so wrong.
the-
I mean,
the
there's nobody
subtitle.
more skeptical than magicians. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. The subtitle mentioned skeptics, but then
Okay.
it really went into more of the magic community accepting him back.
Skeptics couldn't beat him.
Yeah,
Now
we couldn't
they
beat him.
joined him.
Thank you.
Wow.
I got
Right.
some words to say about that.
That is what a great, and I mean bad.
Poor James
Right.
Brady.
Horrible.
Wow.
Horrible. Oh, Bob posted the article. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, if you want to see it, I mean, it's a shit article. It's just it's almost like, like somebody that praises their boy band, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love him so much. And it was just I was reading this going, what is this? What is this, like a love letter? What am I reading here? And I thought the same thing as you. Like, who paid you? Who paid you to write this?
It was really weird.
Yeah.
Bob, I would tell you after this, it is not worth a New York Times subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not really a fan of New York Times, but a few articles. I mean, I did one a few months ago where they posted something about how to tell if your house is haunted. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
Oh wow.
come on now. All right.
Well, I will say this for the value of a New York Times subscription. It's actually the only newspaper that I have a personal paid subscription to, not through the company or anything. And the reason is not for access to any of their current stuff. It's because they keep their articles out of all of the archives like newspapers.com and newspaperarchive.com. And yet the New York Times, for historical stuff going back to the early 20th century, 19th century, and so on, is truly one of the great historical resources of early reporting and original accounts of important events that happened. And I need that so much for my work. So a New York Times archival subscription is absolutely worth it for that purpose. It doesn't mean that you're into their current reporting.
Right.
It's funny you say that because I automatically remember myself in the basement of my library at graduate school pulling up microfiche, and it's amazing that they have that stuff on digital access.
Microfiche. Oh my goodness.
God, I'm old.
I was just going through old files on Uri Geller that we have at CFI, and I
Yeah.
pulled out a part of the folder, and out comes out a whole strip of microfiche, and I was like, I know what this is. This is so cool. So now I got to find a machine that I can blow it up myself, but I need to find a machine so I can go through it. But
There's no way you don't have a microfiche reader in your office.
I have something there. I'm not worried.
Okay.
We have everything. We had everything in the basement.
Yeah, you do.
So, all right. Thank you.
All right,
We're going
kick
to
me
take
out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
How do I
Thanks
do
for
that?
stopping
Do I
by,
do it or
buddy.
do you do it?
I appreciate it.
I'll see all 4 of you at SciCon, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And my wife is going to try and come, so she'll be there for
Awesome.
at least a day or
Good.
two.
Good.
Awesome.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Thanks for
All
coming
right, see ya. Kick me off,
See ya.
however you do it.
Bye. There we go. All right. We're way past our pee break. So we are going to take that now and go fill up or relieve, whatever you want to do. So everyone watching, stick around. We'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, put your questions out there.
We need more questions. We ran out of questions, so we might come back and close the show if you don't give us questions or topics.
There's a
But
few.
so far, it's been really good. I love the conversation so far. So you got 4 minutes.
I've invaded Dunning.
You did. You got Dunning to come on. That's the only reason he popped on. It was to come up and talk to you. All right. You got 4 minutes from now. What's up, people? We are back from our late pee break. Feeling good? Feeling good? How you doing? I'm doing good.
How are you doing?
All right. How you doing? All right.
All right. So
All right.
Bob has a question out there for Melanie.
Oh.
You wanna-
You want me to do it?
yeah,
Okay.
you do it.
Melanie, as an educator, go teachers. Do you think our society is heading towards a society similar to the one in the film Idiosyncrasy?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. There we go.
How can we prevent that as a society from happening? I know as teachers we're trying our best, but it seems like government entities are trying to prevent critical thinking.
So I'm going to solve all of society's problems right now.
Let's hear it.
Exclusive.
Step 1, make me queen of the world.
All right, a little selfish to start off, but okay.
President Melanie.
Let's see where this goes.
I need a
Maybe
ranking
she'll be
above
the
president.
first woman president. We need one of them.
We do. In fact, we do. Actually, what we need is a society that will vote for female president.
Yeah,
But,
we need that too.
I'll vote for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would vote for you. I mean, I don't want to do it myself.
Oh, God, I
but
don't
I'll
want to
vote
do it
for you.
myself.
Kenny would be your vice president. We'd be in trouble. The world would be in trouble.
Us
I
at
will-
nuclear talks?
Yeah.
No, we'll put Anthony. Anthony can be on the.
Oh, you're
nuclear.
right. Anthony needs
He
to be
could
the
be
negotiator.
the-
He's
the
way
negotiator.
better
Okay.
at that than I am.
Yeah.
See, look, there's the
I mean-
dream team right there.
Yeah.
How do you solve this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Queen.
I honestly, I don't know. Because there are times where I feel like our best chance and I do feel this way, our best chance at solving our problems is to have people who can think better. Conversely, it's really hard to think better. And we need an education system that promotes that. And sometimes I feel like our society is not set up in a way where we can make those kinds of changes. And so, on the one hand, I do feel like it's finally storming.
Storm. Yeah.
Teaching critical thinking is the answer, and I'm trying to avoid going on this tangent here because now I really want to go into the tangent of teaching critical thinking. But the question is really more higher order on how we get this implemented and what happens if we don't. And I'm really trying, but I don't. If anybody else has the answer, I'm happy to hear it. Yeah. Sorry, that seems like a really downer here.
So, question: do you want to be referred to as Queen Melanie or Queen Trecek-King?
I think just queen.
Okay.
Just Queen.
Okay. I think that name's already taken.
It's like Prince, but
Prince. Well, Queen is already taken.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, good question though. I like that.
Mm.
That was good. I like when people ask other people
Yeah,
questions.
that was a really good question.
I like
I
that.
wish I could answer it.
Okay, here's another one.
Caustic Hymn Productions.
Why do they have to make an exorcist movie every year? We had the Pope exorcist, Pray for the Devil, and it looks like Exorcist Believer is on the way. Still gotta see Evil Dead Rise though.
I think it's just
Oh, I like Empress. Sorry.
Empress. Oh, Empress Melanie. Nice. Okay. I was like, whoa, what is she talking about?
Wait a minute, she's
Is that
in the
another
live
horror
feed.
movie?
She's in the live feed.
All right.
Empress Queen.
I think because Hollywood has run out of ideas. Honestly, and old franchises are just beaten to death. I really think that's what happens.
If I might add one more thing to that, though, because I think
you
you're
may
right.
add two things.
It
to that
honestly, I think you're right, and we just keep recycling the same stuff, but also we recycle the same woo, like, we just seem to go into, like, for example, Uri Geller is a great example. We thought we got rid of Uri Geller, now he's just popping back up again. right?
Yeah.
So these woo cycles, they just constantly go, and when you think you've gotten rid of it, just the next one comes along. Like UFOs seem to kind of be gone. Now they're back again, and then
Yeah. There's cycles through, and they
We're
come
just
into the
back
pop culture.
The Exorcists.
And things like this. I think it also has to do with the name. You know, like you had the original movie The Exorcist, and it was a phenomenon when it came out.
Yeah.
I still don't see why.
Did you see it when you were a kid?
No, I saw it for the first time probably like 5 years ago.
Oh, that was your problem.
Like I've seen clips, and then I finally sat
Did you
through the
see
whole
it?
thing.
The Exorcism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were a kid.
When I was a kid, yeah.
And I thought I'd been to the house, I've been to the stairs, the filmings. Yeah,
Where's that?
that's in DC.
DC.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it supposedly based on a true story or something?
It's that gets into another set of issues, but I think it capitalizes all of these other ones like The Exorcist Believer, and then the sequels and all that. They try to use the name to make money. It's about making money, not necessarily content. They're not looking for quality entertainment. They are looking for, hey, we're going to use this franchise name so that you come out and see it because you think, oh, it has something to do with The Exorcist or Amityville. How many Amityvilles do we have? There's a ton of them.
It was debunked.
Even after, they still redo the same thing. And then you have the Conjuring series, which is based on bullshit, but they still pump it
Wait a
out
minute,
there.
which one is the Conjuring based on?
The original one is based on the house in Rhode Island, I think, with the Perrin family, the farmhouse, the Harrisville.
Is this what we're doing tomorrow? Because I feel like it should be.
No, I don't think so.
It's not that far.
We'd have to look it up. We can't go because it's now much pay to play, like highly expensive pay to play.
Oh.
So I wouldn't bother going. It's not worth it. But that story gets recycled over and over again, and it's just I think my basic point is that Hollywood ran out of ideas. There's nothing new.
So
And,
we're redoing
and-
all the stuff that was in the 80s.
redoing it and saying, oh, well, you know,
90s.
that was the 80s, sadly,
90s.
were 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know,
Shut
so yeah,
all
it's like,
starting to get
oh,
recycled.
let's hit the young kids who don't know what the 80s were, and
It was better.
Bring them on
yeah,
board.
there you go.
Daniel wants to know if you ever read the book.
I've read parts of the book.
He said it's different than the movie.
So I have read parts of the book. I know that there's several experiences that are in the book that are not in the movie. I specifically read the part about the pig, but also at the end, well, the book actually includes the investigation, and that's the investigation we mentioned earlier with the Warrens that were there. I don't know if the Warrens were actually mentioned specifically, but they might have been mentioned in passing. But I read it mostly because of that. I wanted to hear that, and then specific experiences. I would go back and just read the chapters. So, but no, I didn't read the whole book through. I have it. I have a first edition of it, and it's not very good. I mean, to be honest, I didn't think it was very good, but that's just me. Like I watched The Exorcist, and I was like, oh wait, I think he talked about The Exorcist, right? Not Amityville.
Exorcist.
I'm sorry. I totally got Amityville in my head. I read the Amityville book, not the Exorcist book. Sorry,
Okay.
my bad.
All right, so you didn't read the book.
No, I did not read the book.
All right.
That was a much quicker answer.
Yes. That's the way to shut me up.
Redman has a question. Are any of you getting curious about all the UFO/alien coverage in the media?
Curious. What
Curious
does that mean?
how?
Me, no. I don't care.
I mean, I'm curious about it. My go-to, and I've said this before, my go-to is Mick West. Like I usually see he's right on the ball as soon as leaked, and I put that in air quotes because I don't think any of the videos are leaked.
Yeah.
But when they're out, he's usually right on top of things, and he gives brilliant examinations and breakdowns of them, which you can watch yourself. You can verify yourself. I think the popularity is kind of what you mentioned a little earlier. There's rises and falls, rises and dips, like a roller coaster. And this is the time where UFOs have their rise, because you had your big the report that came out like a year or two ago, which was total junk. But you have all these allegedly leaked photos and videos. You have people more interested. You have the I forget his name, the ex-band guy, the guy that was head of the band that started a UFO organization. I think it's just in pop culture, and it's just having a boom in popularity.
Ooh.
Boom,
Ooh.
boom.
I mean, like, how many? But there's over 8 billion people on the planet, and like, it's safe to say, on a conservative side, like 2 billion of them have smartphones.
Yes.
And our best evidence is like blurry videos.
Shitty videos. Yeah.
That could be interpreted as
Right.
pretty much anything. And so it's things in the sky that we don't.
That's how many smart people have smartphones.
Okay, I was being
6.92 billion
Yeah.
people have smartphones.
Yeah. 86.11%
I mean,
of the world's population.
How many cat videos do we have?
Way too many.
No.
8,500,000,000.
Way too many.
Not enough.
How much conclusive evidence do we have of ghosts or Bigfoot or UFO or aliens? Right. All we have is like something. So to me, like it is great. There's somebody talking about something else we can't explain in the sky.
Right. We have so much
Talk
stuff.
to me when you've got like
Right.
something more concrete. I want
I mean-
a body. I'm a biologist. I need a body.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, John Kennedy has a question. You've been keeping up with the awesome.
That is the James Webb Space Telescope. Hell yeah. Love the work it's been doing.
I haven't seen
The
pictures.
last thing I actually saw was the rings of
Are you making that up?
I'm not.
cats make up 15% of the internet traffic.
I totally believe that. I believe it.
Cats
Fucking
are our
cats, man.
overlords.
There's a reason.
Funny you
why.
should say that. There's a guy that I'm not going to name his name, but he did a talk at a conference talking about the hierarchy of space cats.
Space cats. Yeah,
What?
don't say
And
his name.
What
This
is a
was
space
not-
cat?
This was not a joke. Cats came from space. They are aliens.
Oh, jeez.
And they're
He was
taking
talking
over the
about
human race.
Hierarchy, and
Are you an alien?
it's a flurkin.
He's purring.
It's a flurkin.
He goes,
What's
it's
a
about
flirkin?
time you
What's a
people figured it
flirkin?
out."
Do you not watch any comic book movies?
He's like, it's about time you guys
That's
figured
from,
it out.
Men in Black, isn't it? Wait,
No.
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 Oh, what is it
It's
from?
got to be
Captain
Star
Marvel.
Trek or something.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, it is. You're
Uh,
right. Yeah, it's Captain
yeah.
Marvel. That's right.
Dimitri.
Flurkin.
Flirting.
All right. It's a flurkin.
I'm
It's an
sorry.
alien with a whole
I
has
think we got off
a
track here.
extra dimensional
Yeah, we
What
did.
were we
space.
talking about?
James Webb.
We're talking
Space
about
Telescope.
James Webb.
James-
No, but you said space cat.
Well, we did say it was awesome.
So yes, I've been trying to keep up as much as I can, and what was it? The rings, not of Saturn, but Neptune, I think. It was like a IR image, I think. I don't know.
No
Now I gotta look it up because it was really badass.
Okay.
It looked really cool. Let me see here.
Well, Shauna wants to know if Kenny, did you get your hair did?
Did I get my hair did?
Yep.
Yes, I did. I got a
Yes, you
haircut.
did. Thanks
I got
for-
all the hairs cut.
Thanks for noticing,
James Webb
Shauna.
Telescope images. Let's see what we got here. Gallery.
15%.
Yeah.
Web home.
Still stuck on that.
Look at all these. Oh my God, these images
John
are awesome.
says he's pretty sure it was Neptune.
Let's see. I think They're so. I'm not going to get lost in this because they're so beautiful.
Okay, let's not. Well,
Which is
actually, we're out of questions for the
13
night.
to 20%.
oh, there it
So
is.
You can talk about whatever you want. Can you put it up?
I can share it. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get this up here.
Basically the
So I can share so you guys can see because this is awesome.
Maybe it's not
Share
as clear.
screen,
Okay.
window, this one.
Oh,
And
30%. But in 2015.
Look at that.
2015.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
That is beautiful.
Is that an actual?
Yeah,
That's from the
Webb.
James Webb.
Yeah.
It looks like something I made on Canva.
It's beautiful.
It's so clear.
So
It's like a-
beautiful. Oh my
Planets
goodness.
and rings. Look how pretty. I thought I liked Saturn, but maybe not.
Let's see what James Webb, Neptune, the mysterious ice giant that orbits in the far reaches of the outer solar system, were so spectacular that even
Yeah.
astronomers.
They're asking for the bongos.
Bongos?
Dimitri bongos.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah.
The images are the first that have been taken of Neptune's rings at infrared wavelengths, which can pierce through the dust gas and might otherwise obscure celestial targets. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to wrap this up soon.
That's
It's pouring out there.
That's awesome. So yeah, I've been following. It's really spectacular. I mean, the images are just beautiful. You go to you just type in James Webb and look at their own website, and the images are just beautiful. I can't.
I haven't seen them in a while.
They're great. I'm actually my plan right now because at CFI in the offices we have actually at the lecture hall we have posters that are framed posters above the doorways going in, and they're all from oh my god,
Dimitri
the other
bongos,
telescope.
Dimitri bongos.
Oh my goodness,
Bet you didn't know that I played bongos.
what's I forget. What's the other telescope? Oh, I'm
You have
I'm
so much to
having
talk
a
about.
Hubble. Thank you.
The Hubble.
Thank you. The Hubble.
Hubble,
They're from the
Hubble.
Hubble, and Hubble.
Bubble.
They're good, but they're nowhere near as clear. So my plan is actually to order a whole bunch of replacement posters of James Webb
I
images,
agree,
and I'm
think
just
they
going to
should
replace
put it
them
up with the
and put them
regular
up there
frame.
because I think they will look spectacular,
Thanks, John. Hubble.
especially when we got Neptune up there. I want that one outside of my office
Yeah.
because that's really cool. That's badass. All right, we're doing good.
We're-
We're out of questions.
Yes, we are.
Well, the one there by Bob, it's not a question.
it's not a question
sort
to
of.
be answered here.
But yeah.
But we're going to answer it here.
But since James Webb pictures are so amazing for far out in the universe, why are we not pointing it to the closest solar system to look for evidence of life?
So I think we just heard something on a podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson, everybody, where there was a woman that was on. She's called Madam Saturn.
Madam Saturn.
Yeah, and we got to get her
What?
real name's on there, but she
Yeah.
was part of.
Carolyn something.
Yeah, she was part of the image team that
Did Hubble.
did Hubble, but also responsible for the pale blue dot.
Yeah.
And
That
and
image.
yeah, that image
And
and
that
other
cost
images.
Over $4 million back then.
It's a great podcast, and when she explains it, I'm going to try and reach out to her and get her on here to talk to her about it because
That would be
it was
great,
really
yeah.
cool listening to her. But she mentioned Saturn is one of her favorite planets,
Mhm.
especially some of the moons, and that they Cassini
Yeah.
was the probe that we sent out that actually caught samples because there were geysers coming up from the moon that were ejecting materials into space. They counted 100 geysers that created a plume. That's how she described it. But one of our probes, Cassini, went through it and actually collected material so we could sample it. But she was talking about that and how she was talking about the James Webb that was brought up. And I think they're trying to get time, but there are so many projects, so many things that they want to do with the James Webb that it's basically get in line. but she wants to be able to get time. And I think it sounds like it was going to happen. I just don't know when, but they were going to point James Webb at this moon of Saturn to get a high-res image of these geysers coming off the surface. So
Water geysers?
it sounded like it.
Yeah, Saturn's got water.
Because it's
Liquid water.
yes,
Mhm.
liquid water. It sounded like there was frozen water on top, but that there was a lake. And I don't really
Yeah,
want to
we shouldn't
speculate
really
because
talk
I don't
about
know.
that because-
I'll see if I can get her on, and then she can explain it
yeah,
much
that'd
better
be
than I
cool.
can. But it sounds interesting because they were looking. She was talking about looking for microbes, like they were talking about looking for life in the other planets, like in our solar system and stuff. But she's like, we're not looking for like
Yes, Bob.
things crawling around. We're looking for microbes, and she thinks there's a good chance they might find microbes in it. So
It
I was very
on
excited.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's
Yeah,
podcast,
Star Talk.
Star Talk.
yeah, check
And
that
it was
out.
a recent episode. I think it actually went up this week or last week.
Yeah.
We just listened to it on the way out. So
All right, I think we're at the end.
We
We're
are.
pretty close. Yeah, so
We're
we can do a
wrap up.
wrap up. So if people want to find out more about you, our guest,
No.
on our first traveling open mic night, where can they find you?
My website, thinkingispower.com.
Mhm.
Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Twitter,
Instagram.
yeah, and
I'm trying TikTok.
you're doing TikTok.
TikTok.
You're on TikTok. I've seen you on TikTok.
Yeah.
Your video popped up.
I have like 4 videos.
That's
And if
okay.
you haven't
Work
seen
on
my latest video, it's about farts. So
There you go. You have to
That
let
should
it out
catch your
now.
attention.
you'll learn a lot about my sense of humor. Oh, and I'm on Patreon.
She's on Patreon.
Oh, and YouTube. I'm on YouTube.
You're on YouTube. I put earlier. I put a link in for her YouTube channel, so you can check out the video that I got to participate in.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That was part
That's
1.
it,
There is a part 2, so make sure you go to that.
Oh,
Check
hi,
out Matters.
Bruce.
Thank you, Bob. Hey, Bruce.
Bruce
I love
is
Thinking
such a
Is
wonderful follower of Thinking Is Power. Bruce, I appreciate you. Thank you.
So with that, oh wait, I'm getting text from Brian Dunning.
Oh, no.
Oh, I think. Oh, okay. He wants me to bring this shirt to Vegas so we can get a selfie together. I love Brian. He's so much fun. All right, so just some announcements here that I got. Next week we'll be doing another show from another undisclosed location, which you'll find out probably like Wednesday-ish when I schedule it, with another guest doing our second traveling open mic night.
Open mic night.
And it'll be interesting, I'm sure. What else we got? Oh, we got August. Oh my goodness, August 5th is, I still have this on here, Buffalo Oddities Expo.
Yeah.
So that looks like fun. That
The bombs
obviously
are
in
going
the
on.
Buffalo area, so we're gonna go up there and we'll be in there and see what kind of oddities are here. Let's see. Oh, August 14th to 16th, I will be in Seattle, Washington. I'll be out there with my buddy Eric behind the wall that you guys know from CFI. I'm going to be doing a lecture for a group in Seattle. I'll be posting more about that in a little bit. And then the 17th to the 19th, I'll be in Portland, Oregon, doing the same thing, doing a lecture. We're actually doing a lecture for one of our, I think our Seattle branch of CFI, and then we have an affiliate group in Portland with also the Oregonians for Science and Reason. So we're going to do a lecture for them, and we're also doing a ghost tour in the area. So if you want to come out, both areas, if you want to come out, I'll post more information about that later. What else? There's so much.
Icon yet?
Psycho. I'm getting
Psycho.
there. I'm getting there.
You're
Don't
very
rush
in the
me.
lead.
I'm sorry.
Mothman Festival is September 16th. We'll be down in the West Virginia area. We'll probably be hooking up with Tim Vickers
We will be.
and Daniel Reed.
Yeah, we're staying
Yeah.
at the same hotel.
Okay, good. Tim's staying at the same hotel,
About
and
a
Daniel
half
Reed will
hour
be out there
away,
too.
yeah.
So we're gonna hit the Mothman Festival and hopefully the Flatwoods Monster Museum area too.
Oh, we might be able to do that, Daniel. He says, how about a traveling show to the Mothman Festival?
Yeah, we might be able to do that. That sounds good.
We might be able to do it.
And then October 26th to 29th, we'll be in Las Vegas. All of us, the four of us here, will be in
Yes.
Las Vegas
Plus
for
Brian
SciCon.
Dunning.
And Brian, yeah, that guy. I'm kidding. Yeah, we'll all be there. Brian Dunning will be out there. There will be so many people out there. It's such a great time. Daniel Reed is coming out. I know he's coming out for us. Lots of people. Melanie will be on the big stage. That's right. She's taking the big stage and doing a nice big present. I can't wait. I'm going to get a
can't
box of
wait,
Milk
too.
Duds, and I'm going to be like,
I'm gonna bring my Nerf gun.
oh, that's
it's
right.
on.
I owe you.
Oh, it's
So
on.
now,
Guess what's getting
oh yeah. I'm gonna wait. You're gonna get up on stage and we're gonna announce you. George Harab is gonna be like, and now here's Melanie Trecek-King. I'm gonna go up there. You're gonna be like, okay, and I'm gonna be like, say hello to my little friend. All over. There's gonna be thousands of darts all over the place, and I'm gonna be like, just that.
Someone's a little salty because I won last time.
Yeah, I am.
See?
I love it. It's all good. And that's pretty much all I got. Well, actually, no. There's one last thing is November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Para Unity in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Para Unity. Yep, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So we'll be out there. Going to have some fun, and that's it. So if you have, if you like Thinking is Power, all the stuff that Melanie does, because she does a whole bunch of stuff. She has a Patreon page. Where is that? Where can they find that? Anthony, who's in charge of the Patreon page.
Yeah,
Oh, you
it's
can-
access to
Oh.
Anthony.
Just give me 1 second.
In other news,
No, it'll be here
Dimitri
right
wants to go
now.
outside now.
It's
that it's raining.
patreon.com/thinkingpowers, isn't it?
Thinking is power.
Thinking
It's,
is
Okay.
it's now in the chat.
okay, there you go.
Aw,
So you
thank
can
you.
support what she does, which is great work. Check it out. And it's just,
Let me
I
get the
can't say
coupon
enough
code.
things about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
there is a coupon code.
there's a coupon.
Uh-oh,
Yeah, there's a
there
coupon
is.
code
Okay, yes.
for the Kenny.
Kenny.
The
okay.
Kenny
Oh,
is
you're gonna
the
The T-shirt that says, "I hope it's a ghost this time."
Oh.
That I
named
wore-
after my favorite ghost hunter.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
So what is the coupon code?
I just put it in the chat.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Kenny
Kenny coupon.
coupon.
That's right.
Use Kenny
Buy a shirt.
coupon.
Buy a shirt. What's that get them?
At 10% off
Ooh.
the Kenny.
The Kenny.
The
Kenny.
Kenny.
10%
10% get
off.
10% off the Kenny. Use
There
your
you go.
coupon code
Yes.
Kenny coupon.
Do it. Do it. All right.
At patreon.com/thinking is power.
And also, let me see, because I think I have, do I have the banner? Where's the banner? There it is. I need mail. I want mail. Send me mail. Send me like postcards or letters, the old school snail mail kind of thing where you actually write on a piece of paper, like notes.
Why do you want
Awesome.
mail?
I want mail because you know what? I have a mailbox at work and I
And
hardly
nobody
ever
puts
get
anything in
mail.
it.
That's
Like
the
once in a great
beauty
while.
of it.
I
You don't
know,
have to
right?
get
I
work.
want stuff. I
Oh.
love getting stuff. I just got a postcard from Susan Gerbic. She sent me a postcard from the Magic Castle.
I haven't checked my
Oh,
mailbox
that's
at work
cool.
for like 5
I
years.
love it. Newspaper
Inside.
clippings,
Literally 5
whatever.
years.
You find weird stuff, brochures and
Or
stuff
maybe
from
4.
like weird attractions in your area. Send them to me. I like seeing that stuff especially because if I'm start traveling more with work, I want to have all these brochures and know where I want to stop. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say we're done.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to set up my ending video.
They want to
What?
hear from the cats.
They want to hear from the cat.
He is adorable, isn't
Dimitri.
he?
Dimitri. Hi, baby.
No,
Do you want to
No.
come on the show?
no.
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 You
Okay.
say I'm already there.
All right. All right, everyone. What?
He's adorable.
No.
Admit it.
No.
Admit it.
No. Seed of Satan. All of them. And now I hear
Look,
they're
he's
aliens.
looking at mom like he's looking at mom like, yeah.
All right, everyone.
um,
Have a great weekend. And remember, never stop learning. See you
bye,
next week.
guys.
Bye.